You will fail as a broker if you try to be an expert at everything. Let me explain why and what to do instead. I'm Enzo, director of Elysium Jet Academy, COO and co-owner of Elysium Jet, a private jet charter company based in New York and Dubai. I'm also a former Falcon 900 pilot. If you're a future broker starting out or an active broker already on your desk, this one is for you. Let's break it down. I need to be brutally clear about something, because getting this wrong will either save or destroy your career. You are a private jet charter broker. That's your expertise. That's what you must dominate. And private aviation alone, done well, is already a full-time discipline. Think about what real mastery of this job actually requires. Deep operational knowledge on every aircraft type you work with. Real pricing intelligence across global markets. Solid operator relationships and vetting capabilities. Compliance and regulatory awareness across multiple jurisdictions. Crisis management and problem solving when things go wrong at 2 a.m. And on top of all that, 24/7 availability for clients who don't care what time zone you are in. That's what dominating private aviation looks like. It's not a side hustle. It's not a light workload. It's a demanding, technical, high-stakes profession. Now, here's what happens to a lot of brokers, especially in the early years. They see a UHNW client. They want to lock in their relationship, and they start saying yes to everything. The client asks about a yacht for next week. Yes, I'll handle it. The client mentioned they need a villa in Mykonos. Yes, I can arrange that. The client wants a hard to book a restaurant in Paris. No problem. The client needs executive protections for a trip to Latin America. Sure, I know a guy. Suddenly, you are not a jet broker anymore. You are a jet broker, plus a yacht broker, plus a villa broker, plus a concierge, plus a hotel expert, plus an event planner, plus a security consultant. And here's the trap. If you try to become an expert in private aviation and yachts and luxury hotels and villa rentals and restaurant access and event planning and executive protection, you will fail at all of it. Not because you are not smart, not because you are not capable, but because the human brain doesn't operate that way, and the aviation industry doesn't forgive divided attention. I've seen many brokers crash trying this exact approach. Their aviation quality drops. They start missing details. They lose repeat clients. And meanwhile, the yachts they arranged were mediocre. The villas were average. The restaurants were fine but not exclusive. Everything they touched became average. That's the death of a broker. And here's the trap that's even more brutal. The one nobody warns you about. Every extra service you add to please a client is a new potential failure point in the relationship. And when a client evaluates you, they don't average out the wins and the losses. They remember the problem. You handle the flight perfectly. On time, perfect crew, perfect catering, smooth from start to finish. Then, as a courtesy, you offered to book the hotel too, to be helpful. The client accepts, you book it, and the hotel gives them a noisy room, right above the elevator shaft, with construction outside at 6 a.m. Guess what the client remembers? Not the flawless flights, not the aircraft you sourced last minute, not the operator you negotiated hard to get. They remember the hotel, because that's the thing that ruined their trip, and that's the thing you personally recommended. You didn't just lose points on the hotel, you lost the entire client relationship over a service you offered for free in a domain that wasn't even your expertise. That's the paradox of the extra service. When it works, the client barely notices. It's just part of your job in their mind. When it fails, it defines you. So being helpful in an uncontrolled domain is not being helpful. It's exposing yourself to a risk that has no upside proportional to the downside. Now, here's what most brokers get wrong about UHNW clients. They think the client wants a broker who is an expert in everything. That's not what the client wants at all. The client wants perfect outcomes in everything, not personal expertise in everything. There is a massive difference between those two statements. They don't care if you personally know every yacht in the Mediterranean. They care that when they need a yacht, the yacht is perfect. Perfect boat, perfect captain, perfect timing, perfect execution. They don't care if you're a hotel expert. They care that their suite is perfect for their needs. Right view, right floor, right services waiting when they land. They don't care how you make things happen. They care that things happen flawlessly. That's a completely different job. That's the job you actually need to master. So let me give you the framework that separates a real broker from overwhelmed brokers. Your real job is not the guy who does everything. Your real job is the conductor of an orchestra. A conductor doesn't play the violin. A conductor doesn't play the trumpet. A conductor doesn't play any instrument during the performance. But the conductor is fully responsible for the entire performance being flawless. Every note, every entry, every silence, every transition. aviation. That's exactly your role as a jet broker offering concierge services. You're not the specialist in every domain. You are the person accountable for every domain being executed at the highest level. Now let me give you the clear division of what you handle personally and what you delegate. What you directly manage as a broker is aircraft sourcing and flight operations. This is your core expertise. Stay world-class here. Source aircraft, vet operators, negotiate pricing, coordinate flight logistics, manage crews in real time, monitor flights when your client is in the air. This is where your obsession must live. And you also manage ground transfers directly, SUVs, vans, taxis, airport transfer and city transportation. This is directly tied to flight operations. It's an extremely common request. Probably 90% of our clients need it, and it's manageable with a network of vetted local core service partners. Everything else you delegate to a real specialist. Yacht charter, you partner with yacht charter brokers who live and breathe yachts. Villa rentals, you partner with luxury villa companies who know every property, every owner, every off-market listing. Hotels, you partner with luxury travel advisors who have direct relationships with GMs or can pull strings you can't. Restaurant reservations, you partner with concierge services or you leverage hotel relationships. Event access, you partner with event concierge companies who spend their entire lives working the door. Executive protection, you partner with licensed security firms who understand risk assessment and threat management professionally. These are not just contacts in your phone. These are created, tested, trusted partnerships because your reputation with the client is only as strong as the weakest partner in your chain. Now, two non-negotiable rules when you operate this way. Rule number 1, you remain the single point of contact for the clients. Always. The client never talks to your charter broker directly, never talks to your villa company directly, never talks to your concierge service directly. Everything flows through you. Client to you, you to specialist, specialist back to you, you back to client. Why? 4 reasons. Client convenience, because the client wants one number, one email, one relationship. Service consistency, because you control the quality standard across every touch point. Accountability, because you own the outcome, not the specialist. And revenue protection, because the moment the client has direct contact with your yacht broker, you become optional in that relationship. Rule number 2, you maintain aviation excellence at all times. New aircraft entering the market, operator safety changes, pricing trends across regions, regulatory updates, crisis management protocols. All of that stays sharp on your side because that's the domain you own. That's the domain that made the client choose you in the first place. If you drop the aviation game while you're chasing yachts and villas, you lose your positioning. And once you lose your positioning as the aviation expert, no amount of concierge services will save the relationship. Here is the mindset shift. Being a great broker is not about doing everything yourself. It's about being the most reliable orchestrator your client has ever worked with. Someone who owns one thing to perfection and coordinates everything else at the same standard. That's what turns a broker into a long-term relationship. That's what turns a client into a client for the next 10 years. To wrap this up, you cannot be an expert at everything. Nobody can. What you can be is the best jet broker your client has ever worked with and the most reliable orchestrator of everything around the flight. Dominate aviation, own ground transfers, delegate the rest to a real specialist. Stay the single point of contact, never let your aviation game drop, and never expose yourself to a failure point in a domain you don't control. Do that consistently, and you'll build the kind of career that compounds over years, instead of burning out in 18 months. One part I didn't cover today: how to actually build your network and trusted specialist, what to look for in a partner, how to vet them, and how to structure the commercial relationship. That's a whole video on its own. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you want to go further on the broker side of this business, we run a paid program at Elysium Jet Academy where we break down all of this in depth. Link is in the bio. Up to you. Last thing, drop a comment below and tell me what topic you want me to cover in the next video. If it's useful for the community, I'll make it. That's it for today. I am Enzo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.